Hey guys, welcome to the Two Docs Podcast. I'm Dr. Ingky.
I'm Dr. Ellie here, and we are two medical doctors who this month are going to talk about medical stuff. Especially because it's October, it is International Mental Health Month. We've already done a couple of episodes. We started off with how to eliminate self-doubt.
Self-doubt. Yes, correct.
And then we kickstart the next session with you're depressed, what should you do next? And our last week's session, we were with the lovely Dr. Kohini, and we were talking about depression.
Depression in the workplace. Specifically in the workplace, especially for healthcare workers.
All right. We want to give a quick shout out to all you doctors who are on the Docuity app with us. We are broadcasting this on the Docuity app, especially because we're talking about mental health in the workplace.
Yeah.
This week.
Now, last week we spoke about depression.
Correct.
Right. So this week we'll be speaking about something a little bit different.
Yes.
All right.
But associated, just as important.
Is very important, but a little bit different.
Last week we were talking about tears and feeling sad.
Yeah. Right. Now we are talking about palpitations. Palpitations at the workplace. Primarily anxiety at the workplace. Right. Now, I actually know some people. All right, who miss exams, who fall ill on exams.
Fall ill on
exam dates, right? And they do not turn up for exams.
For the exam,
right? Throughout the entire year, they're always healthy, they're always fine. But when it comes to exams, right, they're always sick.
They don't go for it.
They don't go for exams, all right? They come up with all kinds of excuses not to go for exams.
I only get diarrhea, that's all.
Well,
part of it.
you, my friend, might have anxiety.
Damn.
All right, so that might be one of the symptoms of anxiety, diarrhea.
So now, because of this, we are going to ask the expert.
Yes.
Because we always just talk about our opinions.
Yeah, correct.
You know? So we're going to ask the expert, Dr. Kohini, who is a psychiatrist. We're going to ask her to share with us the top 5 tips on how to handle
anxiety
at work.
At workplace.
All right.
All right.
Come on, kickstart.
All right.
Tip number 1.
Yes. Yes. Tip number 1. I would say that start with having a routine, right? So when you have a routine for your day, it's going to reduce all the overwhelming feelings that you might be having that you know, so it's not like you wake up in the morning and you feel like, oh my God, how am I going to face the day? What am I going to do? What do I need to do? So have a schedule for yourself. Always have a schedule so that you wake up and there's some certainty for your day. All right. So make sure in your routine, you make time for the important things, which are meal times. All right. Have your regular meal times. Do not miss your meals. All right. Number 2, sleep. All right. Make sure that you're getting your rest, the sleep that you need. All right. Regular sleep. You need to have that. All right. And also very important, make sure that you schedule your rest time in your day.
Okay.
All right. So you've got meal times, you've got, okay, this is my bedtime. And then in between, of course, there's work, and then there's work. But then you have your rest periods. Right. So it's very important to have a nice, good routine that it's going to keep you alert and not so frazzled throughout the day.
All right. So he mentioned just now coffee, right? So with someone with anxiety, should they avoid caffeine altogether, or it's actually fine?
Well, it depends on person to person's capacity, right? But I would just advise that in order to get your good sleep at night, practice good sleep hygiene. One part of it is to not take too much caffeine too late in the day. Right? You don't want things that are going to disrupt your sleep because really ultimately that is what you need to keep you going over the years. Yeah, your rest, your proper sleep. Yeah.
Do you know I get anxiety if I don't get good coffee?
Yeah, same as well.
Yeah,
every morning.
So it's got nothing about coffee, you know.
So every morning, my day doesn't start until I drink my first cup of coffee.
You're addicted, man.
No, yeah. So
so it's part of scheduling his coffee time.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you see,
exactly.
that
scheduling my.
Remember, we talked about this. So
routine.
his routine, tick, one thing done. The happy factor done. Coffee done. But provided it's not bad coffee. Or any coffee is good for you.
Actually, to be honest, right, I'm so addicted to coffee. Actually, the smell of coffee itself is actually okay for me.
Kopiko also can.
Yeah, the
sweet.
moment I smell coffee, right, I actually get much better. So it is a
You've got
it
a
is
very low barrier entry.
It's not a physical it is not a physical dependence on coffee. It's more of a psychological dependence on caffeine. I smell coffee, immediately my day is it's much better.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's so many things I want to say, but I'm just going to refrain myself.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to tip number 2. On we're talking about how to handle anxiety at workplace.
Yes.
So tip number 2 from Dr. Kohini.
So number 2, rationalize, right? Which means that always remind yourself that you're doing the best that you can, right? Under your circumstances and with the resources that you have at hand at that point in time. This is also a reminder to always tell yourself that some things are beyond your control. Right? We always, in the previous episode, we were talking about how healthcare workers, we always feel that that need to be on top of things, right? But there are times when we have to let go a little and realize that some things are just beyond our control. So always remind yourself about that. Rationalize to keep your mind calm.
That's a very good tip. Because we don't most people don't rationalize. They go on the extreme. I think they make excuses, or they what's a better word for making excuses? They get harsh on themselves.
Yes.
They get harsh on themselves. They judge themselves.
Yeah,
they criticize themselves.
We're
always the worst self-critic.
You are your biggest critic.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. So one of the part that I really like what Dr. Kohini said is that whatever you do is at the best that you can.
Yes.
On the resources that you have at that particular time. You could do better. We could all do better if we had all the resources. But if you don't have, that's the ultimate best you could do, and the rest of it you have to let go.
Yeah, and what she also highlighted is majority of the time, right, situations are out of your control.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. As much as you want to anticipate certain things happening, most of the time it's out of your control. Right, so because if it's not in your control, there's no point fussing over it. There's no point worrying.
No point getting all anxious.
Correct.
Getting all anxious about it.
Correct.
I think I'll give a very simple example. It's like playing golf. Like playing golf, right? You might perfect your swing. You might be really good at that. But when you go onto the golf course, same golf course that you've played for the last 10 years, but tomorrow there's a gush of wind.
Yep.
There's a gush of wind.
That's
Things
right.
can happen. Suddenly it rains. Suddenly
Didn't smell the morning coffee.
Suddenly you didn't smell morning coffee.
I didn't know you play golf. All right. I didn't know you play golf.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But I can rationalize.
You are at that age whereby you should start playing golf.
You are not far behind me.
All right. Tip number 3.
All right. Tip number 3. We're talking about how to handle anxiety at the workplace.
All right. Talk to someone. All right.
That's what we do.
Yeah, no wonder we all talk.
No wonder we got no anxiety.
Two of you
we drink coffee, then we talk. Sorry, come back to it. It's a serious topic. Sorry, all right.
Talk to people.
Okay.
Right? So if you are stressed at work, the best thing to do is to vent with your colleagues. Right? That's what we do. Venting doesn't mean that it's something adverse that we're doing. It just takes a whole load off when you get to share with your colleagues, and then at the end you realize that it wasn't so bad after all, and whatever may have bothered you earlier isn't so bothersome, because a lot of the time when we share with others, and then in the end we find that a lot of things are actually you come out laughing after that, and then you feel that I can do this, right? So talk to your coworkers, talk to your supervisors as well, so that they have an understanding of the difficulties that you're facing, right? So talking is the simplest and easiest thing that one can do.
So office gossip is actually therapy.
I was about to ask that.
So office gossip is therapy.
Are you planning to put that in your schedule? In your routine?
We can always schedule. We can always schedule break times whereby we meet in the pantry and we gossip about someone.
No, we talk.
We talk.
But
we talk.
It's
therapy.
It's
therapy.
Gossip.
It's therapy. No, yeah. Well, it's therapy then.
Okay, so what's your take between talk and gossip? Would gossip be included as part of talk, or it might be more destructive than constructive?
Yeah, let us know in the comments below.
Yes.
Right. I think I think what we should do is I think all companies should schedule a time
Gossip
for
Gossip
office
time.
gossip.
Everybody just goes there and gossip.
And they put it as therapy time.
But to think about it, that's why some of the good initiatives would be to have things like a coffee club, right? Maybe once a month or twice a month, where the employees get to just, have some break time during the working hour, just to hang out and chit chat with their colleagues. Yeah. So that's when you get to understand, you get to know your colleagues a bit more. So things like this really do help, actually.
There was an article I read, but this is many years ago. There was some university in I can't remember, the US or the UK, whereby they had a graffiti wall.
Okay.
Right. So this graffiti wall is for students to go and write absolutely anything you want, including cursing anyone you want, including the lecturers. You can say whatever you want, and every 2 weeks or a month, they will whitewash the whole thing.
Okay.
So it's reset, and you can go back and redo your whole graffiti all over again. That was their initiative to allow you to vent in a safe space, whereby you're not judged. Because you can write what you want, it doesn't mean from who, but you're venting it out and you're putting it out in public. So in a way, you're like saying, it's actually better than social media, because no one knows it's you, right? So you go out there, you say whatever you want, you curse at whatever lecturer or whatever situation that you put in, and it gets wiped out.
Interesting,
right?
Interesting.
Graffiti wall.
Interesting.
Maybe a hospital should do that.
Yeah, maybe we should.
We have some specialists will be very popular up on the wall. All right.
The next
tip number 4 out of 5. We're talking about anxiety at the workplace.
Never underestimate the importance of getting in a little bit of exercise, right? Okay. Exercise is important, right? It gives us a lot of clarity of mind, right? So we're not necessarily talking about having to do exercise at the workplace, not walking to your gossip sessions as exercise.
It could be actually.
It will fulfill.
It will fulfill your 10,000 steps per day.
Correct. It's like 3,000 steps to go there and 3,000 steps back.
So back to putting it into your routine. Exercise really goes a long way, right? When you exercise, you have a clear mind. You feel more refreshed, really. So do definitely give it some importance, and definitely schedule it in your daily routine.
So when you say scheduling in your daily routine, how about those that don't have time to do it on a daily basis?
All right. Not having it on a daily basis is all right too, right? But we know sometimes it's difficult to do it every single day. But at least in your week, have it at least perhaps 3 times a day. 3 times a week. But even then, start, if you feel you need to start slow first, that's fine as well. Starting with just half an hour, 1 day a week, that's fine as well. It's a start. And then as you see the effects it has on you, you feel good about it. You want to add more, maybe I'll do 2 times a week. And then you take it from there.
All right, I like to make a disclaimer for most Malaysians out there. Eating is not an exercise. It's not. Indoor versus outdoor, is that going to be any difference in your opinion?
No, I really don't think so.
Right, as long as the body is moving,
as long as the body is moving, there is
the
exercise.
blood is pumping, the blood is flowing better, you breathe in more, gives you some clarity of
That's
thought.
right.
All right. Between doing solo, small groups, or joining a group exercise, would that make a difference? Especially sometimes group exercise, you're looking at other people all the time, and then they perform better than you. Will it create more anxiety?
That would really depend on the individual. Some prefer groups because it gives them more motivation. Like I think I'm personally like that. I would work better if I saw, hey, there's a group, we can do this together. You feel the motivation. Hey, are my friends going today? Yeah, I think I want to go.
Okay.
So it really depends on the individual. There's some who, maybe I have my target for today. I want to reach this. I want my 10,000 steps, or whatever target you have for that day. Maybe you want to do it alone, or you can do 1 day alone, 1 day in a group. Even better.
Okay, so know yourself. That's very important.
Yes.
Yeah, because Ingky and me very kiasu. Okay lah, I kiasu.
No, he's kiasu. All right. Okay, how many kilometers are you going to run this year in total?
2004.
Yeah, 2,400 for the entire year.
Yeah, so that's 200 on average every month. Damn kiasu. I'm actually behind schedule. Damn.
Yeah. So tonight after this particular episode, right, he's going to run.
Got time.
Easily 20 km
No,
to make up for lost time.
I only need 200 a month, so which means I need to do 10 every day, 20 days a month.
Yeah, so you just do 20 today and tomorrow can rest lah. Did you okay?
Make up
now,
for it.
right. Last
and
tip.
final one. Final tip.
Yeah,
Yes.
final tip of the day.
Practice a little bit of mindfulness.
What
Right?
does it mean?
So, mindfulness means to be in the present and to accept where you are at that moment in time. So that would mean don't be pulled too much into the future, thinking far ahead. Don't be dragged too much back to your past, but be in that very moment. This is me now, this is where I am, this is what I will do.
See, her closing remark is so calm.
Yeah, it's you know,
it's-
she's
it's
she's
reflect-
mindful of what she's saying.
Correct.
She's mindful. of what
Absolutely
she's saying.
mindful, and then she puts you in this thought that I gotta reflect on what I'm going to be doing today.
You know what? You should start your own podcast.
Yeah.
You should start your own podcast. You know, this nice, calming,
Mindfulness.
this nice, calming podcast.
We
where
even can
everyone
find
listen.
the background music for
music?
you with the occasional
Ding. Yes. Water droplets. Yeah.
rainfall.
Yeah.
Yeah, but mindfulness. I think
Yes.
that's a very powerful word. A very
Yes,
powerful word,
correct.
as opposed to many other words out there. To be able to engage with who you are right now, and to accept that today is limited, and don't waste it.
Yeah.
Don't
And
waste
just to be in the present, just to enjoy the present. Right?
Correct.
Exactly.
Just to enjoy the present.
Correct. Well, guys, I hope that you found this session useful. We are with Dr. Kohini. We are talking about 5 tips on how to handle anxiety at the workplace, or actually anywhere.
Anywhere. I would say it's a very good advice. Doesn't matter whether it's a workplace, at home, or for your own personal use.
And by the way, this session would cost you X amount, but it's free today.
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah.
And if you subscribe to us, it's free for your entire life.
Free for entire life. Just
Free
keep
for life.
subscribing to
Yeah,
us.
lifetime.
Yeah, and we'll get her back soon after
Yes.
that. She might charge us, but never mind. We'll do it for you.
Correct.
All right. And any parting advice, Dr. Kohini, on handling anxiety? You want to add in any bonus for your viewers out there today?
I think that's about it. You have some tips in hand now, and of course, when we talk about mental health, the greatest barrier is the stigma, right?
Yeah.
So let's break down those walls. Let's bring up the don't be afraid to talk. Like earlier I mentioned talk, right? And last week I mentioned about engaging, right? So don't fear breaking down those barriers and talking about normalizing talking about mental health.
And I think just do.
Yeah.
Just do. Just talk. Just get yourself into the zone of engaging with people.
Yeah,
because
correct.
a lot of times, most people don't start.
Correct.
They don't start. All right. With that, we'd like to end our this week's session on 5 tips on how to handle anxiety at workplace. We are very thankful to have Dr. Kohini with
Thank you
us for 2 weeks in
having
a
me.
row.
Thank you.
Right. We are signing off this week on the Two Docs. I'm Dr. Ali here.
And I'm Dr. Ingky. Have a good weekend, ahead.